So yes, today we're going to be talking about CD Projekt RED and how they are about to capitalize on something Rockstar Games is not willing to do. No matter how much their fans ask for it, Rockstar is just not willing to do this one thing, but it looks like CD Projekt RED and Cyberpunk 2077 could fill this big void over the next 2 years. I'll explain in a moment. I just hope CD Projekt RED keeps doing this because Rockstar refuses to. Plus, we're going to be talking about some new data mining details and the expected alleged roadmap of big changes coming up to Cyberpunk over the next few years. So yes, let's do this. Let's dive in right now. Hey everyone, what's happening? Overhaul Games here. Hope you're doing good. And we are back once again in Night City talking about Cyberpunk here. So yeah, first of all, let's start out with what Rockstar is just not willing to do with any of their new franchises lately, and that is adding really good, big expansions, single player expansions, mind you, to their games like GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, it used to be that was something you could expect, like Grand Theft Auto 4, you got the Lost and the Damned, and then you have the Ballet of Gay Tony as well right here. Both excellent expansions that were dedicated primarily to the single player crowd. You had a story, you had brand new characters with really well done cinematics, and they were actually pretty lengthy expansions. Now, CD Projekt RED is about to really capitalize on this area because we're going to be getting two very big single player centric expansions in the next 2 years or so for Cyberpunk 2077, and that personally gets me very, very excited, and I really hope that CD Projekt RED goes down this path pretty much permanently with whatever they do with their franchises going forward, especially when it comes to games like Cyberpunk and of course The Witcher, because they're filling a very important void in the gaming industry right now. Yes, we do know that there's teases that we could be seeing multiplayer down the road for Cyberpunk, but my opinion is keep doing what you do best and make really good single player story driven content for us that adds value, you know, because even with The Witcher 3, they made some amazing single player expansions that were absolutely worth the price tag. But yeah, we're going to talk about this one right here as well. It's kind of related to what we're talking about now. It's a long list of what's allegedly being added to Cyberpunk 2077, and this comes from Forbes and Tyler McVicker. Check them out in the description below. So we're going to go over this right now. First of all, it starts out by saying this: CD Projekt RED is continuing to pour a massive amount of resources into fixing and adding to Cyberpunk. Even if we've only seen the surface scratched for changes made to the game so far, they are planning massive overhauls over the next few months and even years, and ultimately they want to deliver the project they originally promised. Furthermore, they go on to say the following: what follows is a combination of data mining, industry sources, and just some logical leaps and speculation. McVicker himself says to take this with a grain of salt, so it's not wise to expect every item on this list is going to pan out, even if every item is something the game could use. By the way, mentioning that, sound off as to what you would like to see for the future of Cyberpunk 2077 in terms of free DLC, expansions, all that sort of thing. Alright, so it goes on to say this: over the next few years, CD Projekt RED will be remaking practically every system that exists in the game over time. Slow improvements rather than some massive patch or release and fixing everything. Now, you know, there was a statement by the CEO that it wouldn't be a wow factor type thing, that Cyberpunk wouldn't just go through a sudden immediate transition. It's going to be more like No Man's Sky. Even with No Man's Sky, it took years to get to the level that it's at now by building upon the game slowly with really cool features that people want, and now it's the complete package and totally worth it. I'm hoping that happens with Cyberpunk. Now, it goes on to say the following: the entirety of the police system will be reworked. That's definitely something I would expect from them to do. Factions will remember how you've behaved toward them in the past and be hostile or passive toward you as a result. We are already starting to see bits of this with Arasaka drones attacking players if you've started a new game post-patch 1.3. So they're already experimenting with the coding regarding this. An NPC variety system is being developed to give more diversity to both citizens and their vehicles. This would add so much life to Night City, which already is a good foundation for what is coming for this game. Now, what about a transmog system? It goes on to say this: a transmog system is coming, letting you have the stats of one piece of gear while skinning it to look like something else. That'd be really cool. They got to be careful with that, because there's been some transmog systems in the past that I've seen released for games that have not gone well at all. Now, they say this: a change to gameplay difficulty balance, altering the current DPS trumps everything system. This will include strengths and weaknesses to different elemental types of damage and more RPG aspects than the game has now. This is reportedly something that got scrapped late into development. A couple dozen of pieces of free DLC, albeit they may still be very minor things like clothing or cars, like we've seen. And I've said in the past, when it comes to cars, give me more cars. I mean, the cars are really cool in this game. Give me more weapons and cars. That's the big thing with free DLC. If they just focused on those two things, for me personally, I would love that, because yeah, clothing is cool, but we still have no third-person perspective. At least with the cars, you could really see it. I think they should hyper-focus on weapons and cars, and even go further down the road with that and add customization on top of, cars that they're already adding into it. It would be a really cool thing they could do for free, for sure. Now, what about New Game Plus? Like I say this, a New Game Plus system is coming. Should have already been in the game, of course. We have apartment customization with multiple places players can live and redesign. Definitely should have been in the game. A barbershop to alter your appearance. Unclear if it's just hair or everything. So it's 2 large content DLCs, the first of which seems focused on Pacifica. This will not add a big new zone, but layer new content on top of existing zones. It will also take place before the end of the game, with V not be standalone or pick a canon ending. So yeah, that is actually confirmed. We're going to be getting 2 big content DLCs. What it will be focused on is not confirmed. So the Pacifica is definitely speculation regarding Pacifica there, but the 2 expansions is confirmed. So that is something to look forward to. Now, it goes on to say this: Cyberpunk is now replacing the formerly GTA Online-like system that was scrapped after being in development, and is a multiplayer concept focused on cooperative play. It's described as a small MMO, but there are no guarantees that this will see the light of day, and is the furthest thing down the road. And previously, we saw coding and things like that was being data mined that suggested that they wanted to focus on a co-op type mode that was about heists. And I think that would be really, really cool, especially if it was built around the open world. We'll see what they can do with that, but I think that's going to be a very, very long-term project if they actually pull that off. We'll see. But again, my opinion is hyper-focus on the single-player stuff first, because I still love my single-player games. Now let's go on over to the Cyberpunk community and see what everyone is saying. We have Pablo397 who says this: drop points were supposed to be parcel machines. Now, I understand the point of leaving items there for a fixer and collecting rewards. It's a smart way to exchange black market goods without contact. This is a pity that the original appearance has been abandoned. It has 3,600 upvotes. So this is what it originally looked like, and it was supposed to be in the game where you could drop off items and get rewards based on contracts that you were undertaking. But yeah, this looks really, really cool. It would be neat to see something like this in the future, that they add this type of parcel system in the game where you can actually earn rewards and things like that. Now, we have another post here as well from user 7355608 who says, for a game where the kind of main premise is people being able to update and change their bodies at will, it seems somewhat silly that the game doesn't let you customize your character after making them. You can do it with mods, but console players are out of luck. Yeah, mods are great and everything, but they do break on occasion, especially with updates. That's the one thing that mods can be really a pain to work with. But also you have to consider that console players are very much out of luck with this sort of thing. So I think customization is one of the things that CD Projekt RED will first and foremost, or at least I hope, look into with free DLCs and updates and things like that. We'll see what happens. All right, now we have your top comments from my most recent video. Let's check it out right now, shall we? I talk about how Cyberpunk is facing a new and terrible problem, and it's basically that they have to find the right time to release Cyberpunk 2077. That's their new and terrible problem, and it is quite the undertaking to say the least, because I think summer 2022 is going to be their best bet when it comes to releasing the first big expansion, perhaps, because even early in 2021, it's going to be crowded. So we'll see when they actually release the next gen update and the new update for Cyberpunk, but we'll find out what happens. But it's going to be crowded. There's going to be a lot of competition. Nelson says this, funny, 2022 is when CD Projekt RED devs allegedly expected the game to be ready in the first place. There were rumors and supposed leaks saying that the dev team desperately wanted the game delayed to even 2023, that they were begging for that they needed more time. 2022 would have been even better. At least the game would have been in a shape that was very much playable. Would they have had time to add every single feature that they promised in the beginning? No, but they would have definitely had a better start for sure with that, and not dealt with the whole PlayStation controversy, which I'm sure was extremely stressful for the studio. Now we have Human1165 who says, can't believe I was hyped over this game in 2018 and now it's going to be like 2023 when the game is actually 100% finished. Man, I really hope this isn't the future of video games. I hear ya. I mean, it seems like it's here to stay. We keep saying that. You know, I remember years ago, we said that about Anthem. Years ago, we said that about Fallout. Man, I just feel like it's here to stay. I hate to say it. Jackal287 says, Raid finally dished out enough money to... Yep, I am very responsible with my sponsorships and monies. Chris says this, I personally think that CD Projekt RED needs to say something sooner. You're at a point with this game where half the people who played the game believe there is hope for it and are waiting. Those people are only going to be patient for so long. The other half left a long time ago, and CD Projekt RED is going to have to do something big to bring the majority of those people back. I plan to try the next-gen version when it comes out finally, but if I'm being honest, Cyberpunk hadn't even popped into my mind in over a month until I happened upon this video. So even I'm at a point where I've moved on from the game, and I wonder with all the major releases set to come out in the next 6 months or so, if I'm actually going to have interest in returning to this when the next-gen version does release, if there are no additional content to return for. Yeah, another game that I have to think of that's coming up here, of course, is Starfield. They are saying that's bigger than Skyrim, like in actual size and scope. So for Bethesda to have that sort of confidence, yeah, you know, people are going to have a lot of options when it comes to games very, very soon. Cyberpunk is no longer, you know, in the spotlight, so to speak. All right, so let's keep going. Just some person says this. It occurs to be that, besides the bugs, there's a huge problem with Cyberpunk 2077 replayability. There aren't really different paths to win the game, just different starts and different endings with a whole lot of same in the middle. No real factions that change things up, no real storyline rabbit holes that change things up. It's just a linear, one and done experience. I really hope that future expansions can do something about that after they fix the bugs, which they still haven't done, despite getting on towards a year now. You know, I'm hearing such a diverse opinion regarding glitches and bugs. When you go out on the actual community Reddit, you have people that are saying, hey, yo, this game's running really good on the base PS4 now. And then you have people saying that like it runs absolutely awful on their PC or what have you. For me, it's running really well so far. And there's definitely been updates in regards to my PC performance of the game. It's running smoother, and they've definitely improved that. I've seen less glitches with this game. So in my opinion, they've definitely improved it, and they're headed in the right direction. Right now, I think what we need, instead of smaller updates, which are great, don't get me wrong, that's awesome, we need like a medium-sized DLC that is free, that people can be really happy with. Alongside that, they should be releasing a big update to smash a lot more bugs, what have you, and then keep us tied over until the big DLC. Will that happen? I'm not too sure. To think that they're going to add a price tag on this first big expansion is a little bit worrisome, in my opinion. Now we have Sith Morpheus, who says this. Don't be afraid to release DLC because of freaking Forza. Just release it when it's awesome and ready. The opposite of what they did with the game. Yeah, exactly. David Desoris, or I don't know how to say it. He says, you say expansion, I say delivering missing and cut content from a still woefully unfinished, incomplete base game, but whatever. Yeah, you know, when I think expansion, I think, I'm not talking about cut content features. I'm talking about like an entirely new character, new story, features that weren't even mentioned, you know, before Cyberpunk released. Brand new stuff. Maybe I would love to see them go into the existing world and really flesh out some of the interiors, because this existing world is beautiful. That's what I personally think they should do. And that's how they really should expand the world. And the current rumor suggests that that's what they're going to do with Pacifica. So we'll see. And I consider that an expansion. I do. Flameville says this. All right, let's see what else is messed up with this game this time. That's always how it is with Cyberpunk, isn't it? But hopefully that turns around. We'll see. But it seems like they're really working on this game right now behind the scenes because of how much people they're hiring. They're going all in, and they're devoting a big chunk of CD Projekt to Cyberpunk and its expansions. All right, there it is, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Cyberpunk 2077 and open world gaming goodness. Also, let me know what you would like to see on the channel, and I will see you all next time. Take care.